Welcome back everyone to Bluegrass Dreams to Seams. My name is Cheryl and wow, I did not mean to take half of January off, but I began my 2025 with a lovely sinus infection. Thankfully, I was able to work my way through without any antibiotic because I really did not want to go to the doctor. Of course, we've had a couple of snowstorms. Well, we actually had ice the first time. I was glad that wasn't as bad as what they were predicting. We've lived through one of those ice storms, never want to do that again. Then, of course, I've been dealing with this broken tooth thing. Oh my goodness. Went to the dentist, told me what I had to have done. Wasn't particularly thrilled about it, but I thought, well, you know, if that's what's got to be done, that's what's got to be done. Just bite the bullet and do it. So we started the restoration work on that yesterday, and so now I'm at least not in any pain. It is still sensitive, but the permanent work will be in place in 2 weeks. Yes, that'll be behind me, and then there'll be some other things I'm going to have done. But other than that, it didn't look too bad. I mean, so, you know, that's life. That's just life. On with more chipper things. I noticed people have been talking and sharing a little bit about things they got for Christmas. And I know it's been a while now, but I thought I want to share 3 things that I got for Christmas. One of the things I received for Christmas was from my friend Linda. And she made me this cute little bag. I just love them. She's really perfected this. She had looked at one that a friend had bought. And we looked online and found some patterns, and then she just kept making and making until she finally got it perfected. But see, you can open it out and it looks like a little bag you can work out of. And inside, she had made me a covered, you know, those miniature composition books. Yeah. Put that in there, this. And of course, I can always keep a pencil on me. So that's in there, and I have my little toolbox. My sheep still doesn't have any eyes. I need to really take care of that. And it just has a single snap, which she gets these plastic snaps to hold. For some reason, I never can. But isn't that cute? It's just such a cute little bag. And what I keep in here for right now is my glove pattern I'm working on, which we'll talk about in just a few minutes. So there's that one. Then we draw names in my family, and I was very excited about some gifts I've received this year. Now, my daughter-in-law is really, really good at paying attention to what you like to do, what you enjoy. And she purchased me one of my sewing books that I've been wanting. I've had on my wish list, and it's this tailoring journal, or tailoring manual book, and this is by Gertrude Strickland. It says Assistant Professor of Textile Clothing and Related Arts, Oregon State College, somewhere in Oregon. So she could be a professor who wrote this book, and anyway, it ended up out there for sale on the web. And so anyway, she picked this up for me, and I really, really think I'm going to enjoy learning from this. Now, the print is a little tiny. I don't think I'll have to have a magnifying glass to read it, but because I was reading some of it yesterday, and I think it'll be fine. So there's that gift. Plus, she bought me a couple of cookbooks and a couple of kitchen tools. So I'm just all set for the year in the kitchen. Now, like I said, we draw names in my family for the adults, and so I should have just received the one gift. Elaine is who drew my name, not Greg. Greg had my name last year, but Greg and Sheena got a little confused and thought they had the same names that they drew the year before, so he also purchased a gift for me. And he got me this book, and I love watching her videos. Now, I have linked the book title. I'll put the ISBN number as well with it, but I think if you just Google this title, it'll come up. And I believe her name is Butrell Tuke, maybe? I'm not real sure. But anyway, it is just so beautiful on the inside. This is like a canvas cover. She gives a little appreciation right here for the photography work, which was done at Williamsburg Virginia, which I've been there. It's a lovely place to tour, very historical, everything explained. If you ever go, if you've not been and you go, please spend at least 2 days. You need at least 2 days to tour and really experience the history that they go so in depth about the time period of Williamsburg. One thing I do regret not doing is Jamestown. We should have done that. I'm looking forward to using this cookbook. There are lovely recipes in here. Mostly it's about breads and different types of breads, so I am really excited about this book. I love making homemade bread. Okay, now, what have I been doing to try to get myself back into my creative mode? Because I did so much sewing that I was just like really tired of it. There's one thing I worked on, of course, my jacket. You saw at the beginning of the video of all the detail applique, wool applique that I've added to it. I love it. I call it my folk artsy jacket. I absolutely love what I've done to it. It speaks volumes about who I am. I love handwork, different types of handwork, and taking a different art form and adding it to this was perfect. It was just perfect for this particular jacket. Now, the other thing I've been doing is I'm trying to make things to go with it. I did make me a hat. I knitted me a hat to go with my jacket, which I've worn. And I'm working on these little gloves right here. Now, the palm of the hand is this little design right here, and the back of the hand is this design right here. It has this pine trees in it. I had to rip this whole entire glove out. I was close to finish, like in the last 8 rows. When I looked at my trees, and because it's a tree design on the hand, and I didn't like it. I had a lot of mistakes in it, or something was going on. Plus the wrist band part, the part that's the 2x1 rib, was not tight enough. And so I ripped it all out to make this tighter. I actually knit this on a size 1. Then I switched to the size 2 when I got just before all this color work stuff starts. Now let's talk about what I've changed, but first I want to show you what it's supposed to look like. The pattern is called Rain Shadow Mitts. So here's what it's supposed to look like. See sorry for the glare. There's a pine tree pattern. There's these upside down V's and this rain look effect here. But what I fell in love with was the waves and these trees. I love that part, but I'm not so in love with this part up here. And I'm not in love with that either. What I did was I decided my thumb is going to be solid green. I don't like that design. I don't want it. I'm not doing those upside down V's, and I'm not doing those raindrops. So I repatterned the entire glove right here. This part is the same. All that's the same. Where it changes is right here. These 4 trees here got mimicked up here. Now all that meant was I had to add 4 rows to that pattern. But that's 4 rows of where I go in doing an 8-row raindrop pattern. So I had 4 rows I could play with. Now you say, what are you going to do with those other 4 rows then? Well, it really doesn't matter to me because I think at that point they're going to be almost right here. And what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and do the 4x4. No, I'll go ahead and do that 4-row knit purl, knit row, purl row, knit row, purl row. That'll look just like the part of going around the wrist. So what I'm saying is it'll look like that. And I'll just have a green band at the top. Now I might put a couple of rows of white after the last row of pattern is worked, just to give myself a line. And so actually what I'll end up losing is probably 2 rows, which is not a lot, so I'm not worried about it. So that's to go with my jacket, and my yarn is the greenest match to the jacket. So it doesn't matter what colors you use. I mean, you could have more than 2 colors. It recommends 2. I'm using kind of a creamy white. Well, it's got a little brown in it. And this green has a little bit of yellow tones and stuff in it. It's Jamieson and Smith Shetland yarn. Fingering weight is what I'm using. But that's not what's recommended by the pattern. The pattern says they used Ba Ram U Pip color work. They use British wool. So I didn't have access to any more of the British wool at Tuscan Rose, so I just chose to go ahead and buy what I didn't have access to. I watched some videos on how to get yourself motivated back into creativity, and of course I knew I wanted to finish that jacket. I knew I wanted to get these mitts started, and I thought, you know, maybe I should just go ahead and start working on Daytripper Cardigan. Now, a few years ago, this is in MDK's Build Guide number 17, and this is a pattern by Mary Jane Mucklestone that was featured in this particular field guide. I tried to make this sweater 3 years ago. I ripped that sweater out twice. Finally, after the third time of trying to work this, just the color work part, I went to see my friend Susan. I said, something about this yarn is not right anymore. And she said, well, here's the problem. You've knitted over and over with it that now it's not the same size it was when you started. So it's just been handled too much. She suggested I buy yarn over. So I bought my main color over plus my secondary main color, which you need 2 skeins. I need 7 for my main color. I need 2 for the secondary main color, and then 1 skein of each of the others, which I have plenty left of all the others to work with. So she said, don't worry about buying those, just worry about these 2. So that's what I did. When I went down to Tuscan, because she had started carrying the yarn, I purchased this pretty shade of blue. I wanted this blue to begin with, and I was able to get it. And it goes really well with another yarn that I have that has this blue in it, as well as this green that's used right here. This is my secondary color. I needed to start off with it, and the reason it's higher on this end than this end is this is the back of the sweater, and this is the front, and you're knitting between these markers. There's 6 stitches, and that is where my steek will be worked, right in there. So I am excited because when I stretch this, it actually stretches like it's supposed to. And I'm not getting my stitches so tight. And I know I've got more color work to go, and it's early yet, but I just keep checking to make sure, because I don't want to get too tight. Now, some people are saying you have some awful long carries. I will usually carry yarn this weight over at least 5 stitches. I don't worry about it, because once I start twisting, that's where my tightness is going to start getting in. And I just can't do that. So I try to allow myself plenty of stretch in there. So I'll actually space out the stitches, carry it over at least 5, no more than 5. So there is one area where I've got to do a carry of 12, over 12 stitches. So I will go probably 6 halfway, and I'll at least go that far. And I'll just have 1 where it's twisted, because I know if I do any more than that, I'm going to get it too tight. And that's the only place that I've got to worry about that. But the artist, when they interviewed her, or the designer, she told them that she carried over that 12. She didn't worry about it because this yarn, the barbs in the yarn, because it's wool, this is Lettilopi yarn, just sticks. And she said it'll actually over time kind of felt to the fabric, just a gentle felt. So I am very excited about this. I think this is going to work. But of course, what does this cardigan lead to? Now I'm thinking, I need to make me a shirt of some kind, or a pullover top. So yesterday I got in my closet over here, my stashed fabric, and I do have solid knits that'll work with that. Pick up that green, and I do have some creamy colored linen to make a blouse, so I could do that. I also think I might look for black and make me a solid black, just cotton shirt that I could wear, because the black would really make it all shout. And once it's finished, I'll probably take it and I'll look for some other solid cottons that I could do. I've often wondered if I couldn't get away with like a gingham check, if it's the right scale, a real tiny scale, you know, that would probably just kind of almost read green instead of, you know, if it had a little white in it. But I might look at that as well. But those are my ideas of what to do, and I'm just really excited about it. It's what I needed to get me motivated. So I'm hoping to like cut out something this weekend. I am going to be gone over the next 2 days, just hanging out with friends. And as far as a drawing, I need you to comment on this video, just some kind of positive comment. Keep everything positive, and let me know what you're working on, and I'll put your name in on the drawing. Now, I have reached out to 2 different companies telling them that I was going to purchase a gift card, but could they supply me with a coupon code or something that you could use? And so far I haven't heard from either one. So if I don't hear anything, next week what I've chosen to do is I'll go down and I'll speak with Cheryl Shabota and Muppet Sewing Emporium, because she does have a really great online. She's getting ready to get a new shipment of fabrics from Kay Fassett, who designed for some home decorator. I can't remember what it is. A collaboration between 2, and he is involved, and the fabrics are beautiful. She just showed pictures. She said the pictures doesn't do it justice. Wait until you see these in person. So I'm very excited about this shipment. I want to go down and check it out a little later, because it's supposed to have come yesterday, and I'm sure she's already got it out. So I want to go check that out. And I may just go ahead and talk to her about it. And, you know, if one of the other companies reaches out to me, I can always do another drawing for another gift. And so this is just where my thought processes are. I'm thinking, you know, that's a good way to say thank you for those who watch faithfully. Doing a coupon code allows me to provide that without having to worry about shipping anything. You get the coupon code, you get to order whatever you want. And so I know there's a lot of people who love to craft as well as sew. So I think that Cheryl's shop is going to be fine for that. But and it lets me deal with someone locally. Apply her with the name of who should be reaching out to her to with cashing that in. Of course, you'll have the code, and we'll work out details on how to contact me as far as to get that. So that is how this is going to work, and I'll do the drawing either next week or the week after. So happy sewing, everyone, and Happy New Year. I hope you're making yourself something beautiful. See you next week.